MovieWeb.com.
At 7:48 this morning, a bomb exploded on a train outside of Chicago, killing everyone on board.
What is my mission?
A secret program called the Source Code will send you back in time to relive the last 8 minutes of a passenger's life on that train. Find the bomb, and you'll find the bomber.
What would you do if you knew you had less than 8 minutes to live?
I'd make those seconds count.
I wanted to begin by asking you, I know that Duncan Jones is a great director and actually storyboards all his scenes and shows them to you before he shoots. Could you talk about that process and his vision for this film?
Yeah, that was wild. My imagination could only procure a certain visual, and then during pre-production, when he brings you into the office and he shows you into the production office and he shows you just an arsenal of images and ideas and how he's going to visually execute the film, it's astounding. But he is an intensely visual guy, and he does storyboard, and he has real life models, and it's very precise work. And that precision then is echoed in the films themselves, and then executed with such humor and nuance, the way he did with Moon. I think he's successful with this film in the same way.
Yeah, is it difficult to sort of find a reality and like a believable tone in a sci-fi project like this?
Yeah, I mean, I would further say that it's not limited to sci-fi. It really is an action, adventure, psychological thriller, romance. More so than sci-fi, it is an action thriller. But you know, that's the fascinating thing about him as a storyteller. He defies genres. With Moon, I would normally not be drawn to that kind of story, but it's the nuance and the layered and the complexity of character that he's able to explore. That his characters are so complex, and that's what compels me in stories. I have to be with the characters and not just care about plot. But furthermore, I think he's master of adding some big twist and some mind-boggling. You know, there's always some mind-boggling aspect to Duncan's stories, and with this, it's the idea of alternate universes, you know, of alternate realities, of parallel realities, which is fascinating.
Yeah, when you first read the script, what did you think about that concept, and what was it that you liked about this character?
Look, I think who among us would not go back at some point in their lives and relive a moment, or want to embody somebody else's and experience 8 minutes of their life. So just the concept itself is appealing and intriguing. Time travel, I think, has always been, and it's certainly even perspective, and I love the idea of perspective, of a new perspective on something. So those notions appealed to me as an actress when reading the script, and that sort of, and that, you know, it is a thriller and an action movie, but it's done with, it's a real intellectual and emotional journey, and that to me as an actress is appealing.
Yeah, you play a military officer in the film. Did you have to do any sort of research on that? Talk to anyone, or was it sort of?
I did, and I've in my television work earlier in my career, I did a lot of research and spoke to a lot of uniformed men and women. So I think that the information was already there, and there's so much you can get as well online. But as far as talking to real people, during the course of my career, I have met people. You know, captains and Air Force people and Army people, and so you have that perspective, but also it's just you're coming from a very unique place. A program like this doesn't necessarily exist, not that I know of.
So I was wondering if you actually needed to do that kind of research, since this is a sort of small branch.
I think you do, in a sense, perhaps physical, for the physical embodiment of character, you've got to know what's kosher, what the rules are, what the regulations are, in terms of how one behaves in that environment. And but other than that, it's a this role is sort of unique to the relationship of these two characters and what their objectives are with each other. So it didn't require an intense amount of research, but probably a lot more imagination.
Great. And then finally, it seems like you're isolated a lot in the film. Was that sort of how it was when you were shooting? It
was terribly lonely. It's analogous to what you and I are doing. I have your voice in my ear, and I'm looking at a camera, and it appears as if that we may be in the same space and having discourse and really connecting. But Jake and I, our characters are in separate realities, and we filmed it as such. He's a generous actor. He was there for a couple days and read with me, but mostly it was reading with the script supervisor, which was challenging. It's a challenging aspect to the roles.
Source code.